Greetings and salutations, friends. I am Numithrander, and we return again to Traveler's Tales Anthology chapter. There is quite a bit of this, honestly. So let's have a gander and see how many people we've actually spoken to thus far. Looks like the only ones we haven't met yet are Shenyun and Kokomi. So, by happy coincidence, I believe we've actually found Shenyun for the first time. I believe she's right around here somewhere. Ah, there she is. Ah, and she's with Shunha. Unfortunately, we know Shunha does not have a voice. What about Shenyun, though? Only one way to find out. That would be a no.
Shenyun? Shenha? What are you two talking about?
Hello there, Shenyun, and we meet again, Shenha. I hope that all is well. Well, as a matter of fact, I did.
Oh, of course! Friendships need to be maintained from time to time, don't they? Also, Paimon overheard you talking about a good meal. Is there something Paimon should know about that?
Yeah, I kinda saw that coming, and my opinion has not changed on this. I understand and appreciate Shunha's intention. I think it's heartwarming, but... well, what exactly could a tour guide show Shenyun, of all people, that she hasn't seen literally 1,000 times before? Particularly since she's literally able to fly. So she has had a view and perspective on things that no mortal could rival. So I kinda find the tour guide idea to be a bit frivolous when applied to Shenyun.
O'er mountains tall and rivers wide, come see Lila's wondrous sights.
If only this were an international tour. A la visiting Mondstadt or Fontaine or even Natlan. Natlan in particular would be interesting since it was isolated until very recently. Then, in that scenario, Shenyun might actually benefit from it, because those might be places she hasn't been before. Or, if she has been there before, at least she might not be overly familiar with them, as she is undoubtedly familiar with Liyue.
Accommodation at special guest suites, tasting authentic local delicacies, traveling in exclusive carriages. Wow, Paimon kinda wants to try this out too!
And there it is. Exactly what I was thinking.
Also, a trip this luxurious couldn't have been cheap, right?
That's a bit excessive. I do hope you can get a reimbursement, Shenha. Yes, either Shenyun now has to go on this excursion, so that her daughter's intent be not wasted, Or she has to go and, well, gather back the funds for it. Yes, it is the thought that counts. I wouldn't want any of my children putting themselves out like that. Uh, hmm.
Huh? Wait, haven't you paid the deposit already?
I don't really approve of the violent solution to this. That would sully the whole business and transform her earnest attempt to make a kind gesture toward her adoptive mother into violent extortion of business people. No. Now you're just going to let her wander off? Oh no, you're wandering off.
Uh-oh. What do we do? She's mad for sure. Come on, we gotta think of something. Hey!
Don't worry too much about this. She won't stay long. Well, she won't stay angry for long, I'm sure. Do we know that, though? I distinctly remember Shenyun threatening to destroy all of Leeway Harbor once upon a time. So I'd be a bit concerned with her anger. Well, you started by putting her in a slightly awkward position, and then made her feel guilty for having rejected your gift. So yeah, she's annoyed now. Both because you put her in the awkward position in the first place, and because now she feels guilty about having rejected your offer.
No, she's definitely not mad at you. Don't blame yourself, okay? But even though she said she didn't want to go, she's really proud of you anyway. You should have seen her smile while we were chatting. Any wider and it would have split her face in two.
Except that she was right here while we were chatting with her. So why bother saying this, Paimon?
She's probably just disappointed because she was looking forward to this trip. And it went up in smoke.
Why are you lying, Paimon? Like, we literally just spoke with Shenyun, and that wasn't her problem exactly. In fact, we know she wasn't interested in going on this trip. This was a surprise to her, which was part of the reason it bothered her in the first place. So why are you saying any of this, Paimon? Because it isn't helping. I'm going to have to go talk with Shenyun again, because this... I don't want to leave it with Paimon's assertions.
What do you think, Traveler?
I've got a better idea. How about this? Let me design an exclusive custom itinerary for Shenyun instead. Why would that Why would he do that? It's... Okay, the only reason I could see that being a thing, and the only way that his plan would be different or better than the actual Elder Senior Joy trip thing, would be for the simple fact that Aether can actually travel to all the different nations of Teyvat, minus Snezhnaya at the moment. But, him acting as a tour guide for Shenyun is an interesting idea, but I don't think that's really the correct answer to fix this little discrepancy.
An exclusive? Ooh, Paimon gets it! You're going to put together a travel itinerary tailored just for her, right? That sounds like a good plan! Nice one, Traveler! Oh, and what do you think, Shenhe? Just leave it to us! He's the world-famous traveler, after all, and Paimon's his super awesome guide! We'll come up with a trip that's up to Shenyun's standards for sure!
An Adeptus Abroad, the Great Pleasure Excursion. Let's go. Perhaps I have a filthy mind, but I don't think I'd refer to it as the Great Pleasure Excursion. Better sightseeing excursion, frankly.
Yep, since she's seen all there is to see in Liyue already, let's take the opportunity to bring her to places further afield. We're spoiled for choice, though. Where should we recommend she go first?
Mondstadt, the city of wind and freedom. A fine place to start a journey. Nice little callback there. It would also be interesting if Shenyun actually met people like Jean and Diluc and them.
Makes sense. That's where we started out too, after all. Mondstadt City, Star-Snatched Cliff, Windrise, and Sweet Madams. Oh, gotta jot everything down.
There is something that only you can do. Give this Mondstadt travel guide to Shenyun for us. I do wish this were voice acted. It is such a disappointment that it isn't. And no, changing it to other languages wouldn't help, because it is the original English cast that I got to know in the first place. And I'd still have to read it anyway if I were to go into any other language other than English, because I am not fluent in any language other than English. Hence, for me at least, it would be a nuisance to change it to other languages. Since it would just be strange voices that I'm unfamiliar with, that I would still have to read. So better to take it as a silent adventure story at this point. And besides, at least Paimon is still here. Although some people would think that a minus rather than a bonus. For my part, I think Paimon can somewhat fluctuate. Sometimes she's annoying, sometimes less so. I would say with these more recent stories, she's been less annoying than she previously might have been. Oh! Kaya and Klee in Liyue. Hello there. Looking at the icon, I mistakenly thought you were going to be Yunjin. Huh. Although, is it really a good idea for Klee to be out here with only Kaya for her chaperone? Somehow, I don't think that's a good idea. Taking Klee out on one of your jaunts, Kaya. If it involves the wine industry, why isn't D-Luke here? Again, I'm wondering, why isn't D-Luke here? And frankly, I trust D-Luke to be Klee's chaperone far more than I do Kaya. In fact, I think Kaya would be a bad influence. Classic Kaya leading the youth astray. Ah, so Yunjin is here. This is Captain Kaya. If I remember correctly, the cavalry captain. Even if I have yet to see a single horse in Mondstadt. Ah, yes, the cavalry captain Kaya from Mondstadt's Knights of Favonius. And this is the Spark Knight, Klee, daughter of Alice. If I remember correctly, Alice was one of the Hexen Circle, and helped create Simulanka. So, Klee is quite important, actually. Which again is part of the reason I'm concerned that Kaya brought her out by himself. And this is Yunjin, a professional opera performer from Liyue, and a director of the opera as well. Yes, I fear you're a bit too young for that, Klee. You literally don't have the arm length to manage some of those moves. I'm sure you will, Klee. Klee is a sweetheart. Apart from Kaya's intrusion on that, I'd say that was a very light-hearted little story. Let's see now. No sign of Kokumi. Not on Watatsumi Island, where I would most anticipate her being. Would not really anticipate her being on Narukami Island, but... alas, no. No sign of her there either. So let's see. No one else in Liyue Harbor, so let's head over to Mondstadt. Oh, hold on, who's that? Oh, Shenyun. Looks like our plan to take Shenyun sightseeing in Mondstadt has come to fruition. But since we've had a few more meetings with Daona, we'll go to her first, I think. And then we'll go to Shenyun. And then hopefully Kokomi will show up. As I would kind of like to end today's episode with at least our first visit to Kokomi. That way at least we can say that we've seen everybody at least once. Twas a bit overcast.
They say there's nothing new under the sun, but somehow a picnic in the warm sunshine never gets old.
Sounds like we have an Abyss Mage to deal with right quick. Ah, good, it's a Pyro one. So Mawika's not going to be too helpful, but Sweet Lolly and Writhely should deal with it quite nicely.
Show no mercy! Lolly, he's Papa! Get him! Light it up! Allow me! Yeah!
And then of course we have Kokomi, who makes an absolute joke out of it. Is Daona hunting? Stalking her prey, hiding behind a stone? Yep, that looks to be the way of it. Right. Sucrose did give that weird hybrid berry thing. So, I'm wondering if Daona is checking to see how the bait worked, or didn't work, as it seems. Hunting again, Daona? I wonder if someone else has come along and taken the food. Were the traps damaged by some kind of external force, perhaps? What bait did you use? And everything went missing? Even the drinks? And that's not the culprit we're looking for. Although, good shooting, Deona. You've caught something. And that boar should be good for a few meals at least. So, what do we do now? Do you want to retrieve all the traps one by one? Ah, so this is about dignity. About the injury to your pride. I sincerely hope that we're not going to be poisoning Razor. Because that is, of course, the very first thing that sprang to my mind. Razor lives around here. And therefore he might wind up on the wrong end of one of those traps. And looks like Kokomi's finally here, so let's go speak with her. And I might call it quits after speaking with her. Getting a smidge on the long side again, after all. I wasn't quite expecting this to be such a lengthy series, but yeah, that seems simply to be how this is turning out. And to be fair, it is rather nice there's actually so much content here. Let's see. I'm guessing that Kokomi is further down. Ah, her little hideout, if I remember correctly. Yep. Did we catch her napping again? Hard to tell without the camera as it is. Oh, yep, looks like we actually did catch her napping again. I don't know that I should wake her, honestly, but, well, we'll see if she notices us anyway. Well, that was a fair bit shorter than I was expecting. Kind of sad. It kinda makes me sad, honestly, that Kokomi misses the Traveler like that. Yeah. And in general, the Traveler's going to go even further abroad when he visits Snezhnaya.
It's raining? That's alright. The real problem would be if we could feel water dripping on our heads in the fortress of Meropide.
Yes, that would be a problem. A leak springing there would be a disaster.
Try and stop me!
Oh, this doesn't bode very well for Shen Yun's sightseeing tour, now does it? She came to Mondstadt with a wonderful view, and then it rains horrendously. Oh well. You'll meet with her all the same. Now we find out whether she's at the top of this cliff or the bottom of it. Ah, top it is. I was on a 50-50 odds of making the right choice about where to spawn in. Because there is a fast travel point way down there. Actually, right where the game started. But if we went there, we'd have to scale this cliff just to see her. So I certainly picked the easier path to follow. Hello there, Shenyun. I see you took our suggestion. Ah, and the weather clears.
Hey, Shenyun! You're here after all! You seem like you're in a good mood. Right? You're not angry anymore, are you?
I'm glad you approve, Cloud Retainer.
Oh, we're glad you like it. We would have felt awful if we made you spend all that effort climbing up here only for you not to enjoy yourself.
She can fly, you know. So actually getting to a mountaintop isn't much of a bother for her. Yes, like I said, I had to come on foot. And for that reason, my trip had to be a bit more considered. But Shenyun flies.
That's true. Paimon almost forgot that she's a big illuminated bird.
Yeah. Yeah. You're kind of being silly, Paimon.
What Paimon means to say is that we're no match for your super duper adeptal powers. He can attest to that. It was a tough climb to the summit the first time we came here.
Things weren't easy for us back then. And frankly, they're still not, considering that we're still looking for Lumine and fighting the Abyss and the whole business with Snezhnaya and Celestia and all that. Well, when you put it like that.
Speaking of, why are you alone? Paimon thought Ganyu, Shenhe, or the others might come along with you. You really are like one of those wandering heroines from the stories.
Gladly. Just stay relaxed, like you usually are. It's more genuine, more dignified. Yes, beautiful as ever. Although I am curious, let's see what the cool pose even is. What about unexpected? What is that going to look like? Kind of floating, I guess. I think I'll go with the cool pose, actually. I don't know, I think I would prefer it, actually, if she kept her hand up by her glasses. Oh well. The cool pose will do all the same.
Huh? Us too? Oh, that makes total sense. Alright then, let's take some photos. Thanks a lot, Shanyan. Right, sure. Did Paimon not wipe off the biscuit crumbs from breakfast?
Now why would I comment about falling half to my death? No, we're going for happy on this occasion. Actually, what does he look like if he's thinking about falling?
Paimon gets you.
Yeah, I think I'll go for happy after all.
Paimon too.
Alright, this'll do.
Ooh, Paimon wants to see. Huh. You have a look.
Not exactly what I imagined. Where's all the scenery?
But the photos you had us take of you had a whole eye full of pretty scenery. Why the change?
Mooncarver and Mountain Shaper, I presume you're speaking of. Well, that was an amusing little aside. And to return to where all of this began, down there on the beach. And thus, this also marks a good place to end today's episode. If you've enjoyed this, please remember to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Do check out my Elden Ring Let's Play, as well as my playthrough of the Genshin Impact main story. And don't forget to hit the bell to keep up with notifications, because I do publish one video every day, Monday through Friday. And as always, have a good day.